I forgot to put the fucking music on. I guess it helps if I do that, doesn't it? Really good message, thank you. This will make you think.
Holly Tones bonus BB Holly Jones bonus BB Holly Jones bonus BB.
One, two, all hot meal. Kirby is. Kirby inhales his enemies and makes it later. All you bastards in the audience will be so happy to hear I finished eating my tuna sandwich for lunch. Also, there's an ad break about to happen. And by the way, my tuna sandwich was good. So...
One. Because he's such a big gamma, he comes Kirby to meet and to project. Because he's the techie by King Diddy, meet and swings his sword of King Diddy defeat. What the triumph is that? He comes Kirby to meet and to project. Because he's the techie by King Diddy, meet and swings his sword of King Diddy defeat. What the triumph is that?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? You like Dracula? You like Dracula? You want to listen about a Dracula? You want it? It's Dracula? You want it? We got it. You have it. We see it. You like it? We also like it. You.
Hi everyone! How's everyone doing today? I hope you're doing good. I hope your day's been good to you so far. We're Monday. It's Monday. We're here on Monday. It is July 24th, 2023. It's been a bit since my last stream. But I reckon we can hang out and talk about that after we read some Dracula, because I'm realistically just reading one chapter today. I want to get back into reading Dracula. The rest of my week is a little busy, and also I'm playing fucking Yick with Socks tonight, so, I don't want to wear the old voice out too much, but, I want to read some of Bram Stoker's Draculas. So we're gonna do that. People in chat reacting with the appropriate level of scared, given the news about Yick. So that's good. That's gonna be a fun question mark time. But until then, I wanted to read some Dracula. So we'll do that. Normal stream intro stuff. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for tuning in. You don't even know what it is. It's what's a succinct way of putting it? Imagine if a dude saw Earthbound and like other similar 90s RPGs of the era and took all the wrong lessons from those RPGs of the era and made his own game that just kind of feels like jacking himself off, and then got mad at people for not being smart enough to get it. It's kind of like that. Overzealously nice white dude type beat. My understanding that, which might be wrong, is it's very much the world is so sucks, why can't I get a fucking girlfriend type of game, type of guy, type of game. Among other things. So that'll be interesting. Anyways, welcome to the stream. Thanks for tuning into my stream. Hi, it's wonderful to have you here. If you're new here, well, hey, it's wonderful to see ya. I hope you enjoy. If you're not new here, you know what to do. Post the fucking monolith. Thank you, Blue Graves, for the tip. Much appreciated.
Today is Monday, which means Holly gets to read a Bram Stoker's Dracula. It is her favorite activity.
Thank you for the tip. Appreciate it. Review the channel rules, follow the rules. These streams are intended for mature audiences. That doesn't just mean that I'm gonna make jokes about dicks and willies. It means I expect you to behave with a certain level of decorum. Even with the aforementioned jokes about dicks and willies. Be nice to me, and also to each other, and also to yourself. If you like the stream and you want to support, subs, tips, bits, all that stuff, never mandatory, no obligation, always greatly appreciated. I found, I should more accurately say Kami found, God bless Kami, he's my fucking hero, really fucking cheap tickets to California for all of September. So I'm gonna be visiting my wife for all of September. So tips for the next little bit are going to go towards me buying myself a decent laptop so that I can also stream while I'm out of the house. So I can, you know, keep working on days when my wife is going to be also busy working. So, again, no pressure, no obligation. Don't ever feel like you have to. But hey, if you like the streams, you want to support what we do here, I'd certainly appreciate that. This would go very directly into improving the streams. So I'd appreciate that. Get the lesbian a supercomputer? Realistically, I'm going to get a laptop that's fine. And then the rest of the money is going to go towards upgrading my desktop computer. So that I can have a supercomputer when I'm back home at home base. Haven't seen one of my streams in a while, you're married? It's a term of endearment. Frankly, the only reason we haven't gotten actually married is one, it's long distance at the moment, and two, we're a little busy. But, effectively. Anyways, that's the spiel.
Here's double tip experience to
I appreciate that, thank you.
Month experience. Let's go, lesbians, let's
go. Is that all the normal intro stuff? Oh yeah, Twitter's exploding again. I gotta be honest, I haven't really looked at Twitter in like a couple of weeks, and I feel all the better for it. You can follow me on Tumblr. You can follow me on co-host. I'm just Holotones, all one word on both of those. You can join the Discord, because I post all my stream announcements there, and hey, it's a nice little place to come and hang out every now and then. But that's, all the intro stuff, I reckon. Always assumed because the distance makes legal recognition really complicated and costly. I mean, there's a bunch of reasons. It's that, and also, you know, citizenship in different countries, and also money and time, etc., etc. You know? We do our best. We carry on. Is that all my intro stuff out of the way? I think so. I haven't done this for like a fucking week, and I've already forgotten how to do my job. Happy to see the Talk Sprite in use after A Christmas Carol. Yeah, I do really like this one. I'm not wearing a sweater because it's damn warm today. It's a fucking summer day, but I do like the little sitting and reading sprite, so I've been using it for Dracula. Speaking of Dracula, what do you say we fucking Dracula? What do you say we read some fucking Dracula? All the Talk Sprites you've been using are great. They sure are. You can 100% thank my fucking wife for that. Puz did all of them. And she is real fucking good at art. Hey, thanks for the big tip. I appreciate that.
Support Holly Machine Gober.
Thank you very much. Speaking of fucking support, part of why I would like to have laptop for stream in September is October is when Twitch is finally switching people over to a 70-30 sub split if you're above a certain sub threshold. This song is too joyous. Let's go with this. Okay. And I've noticed the last time I took a trip over to visit Puz, if you don't stream for a month, for some reason people forget, oh, I can still subscribe while you're offline, and the numbers go down a lot. So I kind of need to stream in September so the numbers stay where they are, so that I can get the 70-30 split. Because Twitch is an awesome system, and I love having my money dangled over my head like a carrot on a string. Know what else I love? Dr. C-Word! It's time for Chapter 12 of Dracula. Dr. C-Word's diary. What fucking...
I was doing kind of a voice like this for this guy, I think. It was a little bit lower pitch and kind of a little bit monotonous. A little clinical. This dude fucking sucks. 18th of September. I drove at once to Hillingham and arrived early. Keeping my cab at the gate, I went up to the avenue alone. I knocked gently and rang as quietly as possible, for I feared to disturb Lucy or her mother, and hoped to only bring a servant to the door. After a while, finding no response, I knocked and rang again. Still no answer. I cursed the laziness of the servants that they should lie abed at such an hour, for it was now 10 o'clock, and so rang and knocked again, but more impatiently, but still without response.
I guess for context, in the previous chapter, previously on Dracula. Sisters! People are dead and on the floor, and maybe Lucy is also dead and on the floor. We don't know yet.
Hitherto I had blamed only the servants, but now a terrible fear began to assail me. Was this desolation but another link in the chain of doom which seemed drawing tight around us? Was it indeed a house of death to which I had come too late? I knew that minutes, even seconds of delay might mean hours of danger to Lucy. If she had again one of those frightful relapses, and I went round the house to try if I could find by chance an entry somewhere. I could find no means of ingress. Every window and door was fastened and locked, and I returned baffled to the porch. As I did so, I heard the rapid pit-pat of a swiftly driven horse's feet. They stopped at the gate, and a few seconds later I met Van Helsing running up to the avenue. When he saw me, he gasped out,
"Then it was you who had just arrived! How is she? Are we too late? Did you not get my telegram?"
I answered as quickly and coherently as I could that I had only got his telegram early in the morning and had not lost a minute in coming here, and that I could not make anyone in the house hear me. He paused and raised his hat as he said solemnly,
Yeah, this is a really good Van Helsing theme, isn't it?
"Then I fear we are too late. God's will be done."
With his usual recuperative energy, he went on,
"Come! If there be no way to get in, we must make one. Time is all in all to us now."
We went round to the back of the house, where there was a kitchen window. The professor took a small surgical saw from his case and handing it to me.
Cut these fucking bars open, bitch boy!
Pointed to the iron bars which guarded the window. I attacked them at once and had very soon cut through 3 of them. Then, with a long, thin knife, we pushed back the fastening of the sashes and opened the window. I helped the professor in and followed him back. There was no one in the kitchen or in the servants' rooms, which were close at hand. We tried all the rooms as we went along, and in the dining room, dimly lit by rays of light through the shutters, found 4 servant women lying on the floor. There was no need to think them dead, for their stertorous breathing and the acrid smell of laudanum in the room left no doubt as to their condition. Van Helsing and I looked at each other, and as we moved away, he said,
"We can attend to them later."
Then we ascended to Lucy's room. For an instant or two, we paused at the door to listen, but there was no sound that we could hear.
Hey, thank you for the tip, Eagle Full Metal.
Thanks for a fun reading stream to brighten up a rainy day.
Hell yeah.
P.S. The official Japanese Pikmin 4 website has an amazing new render of the Bulborb Queen.
That's fucking awesome. Everything I hear about Pikmin 4, and I mean this in the sense that I want to play Pikmin 4, and I have to say that first because otherwise it's gonna sound bad. Everything I hear about Pikmin 4 just really badly makes me want to replay and finish the first Pikmin. Someday I'll get around to that. Where the fuck was I?
For an instant or two, we paused at the door to listen, but there was no sound that we could hear. With white faces and trembling hands, we opened the door gently and entered the room. How shall I describe what we saw? On the bed lay 2 women, Lucy and her mother. The latter lay farthest in, and she was covered with a white sheet, the edge of which had been blown back by the draft through the broken window, showing the drawn white face with a look of terror fixed upon it.
You mean these guys are white? They're English. They're English in the Victorian era or thereabouts. I think you can pretty easily draw your own conclusions from there. They're pretty monstrously white, actually. Where were we?
By her side lay Lucy, with face white and still more drawn. The flowers which had been around her neck were found upon her mother's bosom, and her throat was bare, showing the 2 little wounds which we had noticed before, but looking horribly white and mangled. Without a word, the professor bent over the bed, his head almost touching poor Lucy's breast. Then he gave a quick turn of his head, as of one who listens, and leaping to his feet, he cried out to me,
"It is not yet too late! Quick, bring the brandy!"
I flew downstairs and returned with it, taking care to smell and taste it. Lest it too were drugged like the decanter of sherry which I found on the table. The maids were still breathing, but more restlessly, and I fancied the narcotic was wearing off. I did not stay to make sure, but returned to Van Helsing. He rubbed the brandy, as on another occasion, on her lips and gums, and on her wrists and the palms of her hands. He said to me,
"I can do this all that can be at present. You go wake those maids, flick them in the face with a wet towel, and flick them hard. Make them get heat and fire and a warm bath. This poor soul is nearly as cold as that beside her. She will need to be heated before we can do anything more."
I went at once and found little difficulty in waking 3 of the women.
Just fucking slap them, dude! Get a wet fucking thing and slap them real good.
The 4th was only a young girl, and the drug had evidently affected her more strongly, so I lifted her on the sofa and let her sleep. The others were dazed at first, but as remembrance came back to them, they cried and sobbed in a hysterical manner. I was stern with them, however, and would not let them talk. I told them that one life was bad enough to lose, and if they delayed, they would sacrifice Miss Lucy. So, sobbing and crying, they went about their way, half-clad as they were, and prepared fire and water. Fortunately, the kitchen and boiler fires were still alive, and there was no lack of hot water. We got a bath and carried Lucy out as she was and placed her in it. Whilst we were busy chafing her limbs, there was a knock at the hall door. One of the maids ran off, hurried on some more clothes, and opened it. Then she returned and whispered.
I almost misread this as whimpered.
And whispered to us that there was a gentleman who had come with a message from Mr. Holmwood. I bade her simply tell him that he must wait, for we could see no one now. She went away with the message, and engrossed with our work, I clean forgot all about him.
Oops.
I never saw in all my experience the professor work in such deadly earnest. I knew, as he knew, that it was a stand-up fight with death, and in a pause told him so. He answered me in a way that I did not understand, but with the sternest look his face could wear.
If that were all, I would stop here where we are now, and let her fade away into peace. For I see no light in life over her horizon.
He went on with his work with, if possible, renewed and more frenzied vigor. Presently, we both began to be conscious that the heat was beginning to be of some effect. Lucy's heart beat a trifle more audibly to the stethoscope, and her lungs had a perceptible movement. Van Helsing's face almost beamed, and as we lifted her from the bath and rolled her in a hot sheet to dry her, he said to me,
The first gain is ours. Check to the king!
We took Lucy into another room, which had by now been prepared, and laid her in bed and forced a few drops of brandy down her throat. I noticed that Van Helsing tied a soft silk handkerchief round her throat. She was still unconscious, and was quite as bad as, if not worse, than we had ever seen her. Van Helsing called in one of the women and told her to stay with her and not to take her eyes off her till we returned, and then beckoned me out of the room.
We must consult as to what is to be done,
he said as we descended the stairs. In the hall, he opened the dining room door and we passed in, he closing the door carefully behind him. The shutters had been opened, but the blinds were already down, with the obedience to the etiquette of death, which the British women of the lower class always rigidly observe. The room was therefore dimly dark. It was, however, light enough for our purposes.
What song is this? This is Mystic Mining from the Dungeons of Dreadmore soundtrack. I just pulled up the entire Dreadmore soundtrack because it feels appropriate enough for a Dracula.
Van Helsing's sternness was somewhat relieved by a look of perplexity. He was evidently torturing his mind about something. So I waited for an instant, and he spoke.
What are we to do now? Where are we to turn for help? We must have another transfusion of blood, and that soon, or that poor girl's life won't be worth an hour's purchase. You are exhausted already. I am exhausted too. I fear to trust those women, even if they would have courage to submit. What are we to do for someone who will open his veins for her?
Who the fuck is this? Oh, Quincy Morris, I guess. Who was Quincy Morris and what voice was I doing for him? Was that one of the, was that one of the failed suitors, or was that actually her suitor? Wait, is that the cowboy? Let's fucking go. Sorry for clapping so loud into my damn microphone. I just got so fucking excited about the cowboy that I lost all fucking decorum.
What's the matter with me, anyhow? The voice came from the sofa across the room, and its tones brought relief and joy to my heart, for they were those of Quincy Morris. Van Helsing started angrily at the first sound, but his face softened, and a glad look came into his eyes as I cried out, "Quincy Morris!" and rushed towards him with outstretched hands. "What brought you here?" I cried as our hands met. "I guess art's the case." He handed me a telegram.
Have not heard from Seaward for 3 days, and am terribly anxious. Cannot leave. Father still in same condition. Send me word how Lucy is. Do not delay. Holmwood.
I think I came just in the nick of time. You know you have only to tell me what to do.
The Yakuza streams have ruined you. You hear that voice and your brain instantly goes to Majima. I mean, that's a pretty goddamn funny way to imagine Quincy Morris, to be fair. just slap a cowboy head on that motherfucker.
Van Helsing strode forward and took his hand, looking at him straight in the eyes as he said,
A brave man's blood is the best thing on this earth when a woman is in trouble. You're a man, no mistake.
What did he mean by this?
Well, the devil may work against us for all he's worth, but God sends us men when we want them.
Once again we went through that ghastly operation. I have not the heart to go through the details. Lucy had got a terrible shock, and it told on her more than before. But though plenty of blood went into her veins, her body did not respond to the treatment as well as on the other occasions.
Uh-oh! The blood type is not compatible! A Yakuza Dracula reenactment would totally be a thing? I mean, yeah. If they recreate fucking samurai times and zombie apocalypses with just straight up the Yakuza characters, I could see, like, you know, some famous piece of literature just being recreated with the characters. I could see that happening. I don't think Kiryu would be Jonathan Harker, though. That wouldn't work. Who the fuck would Kiryu be? Van Helsing? No way. He's... No way. Where was I? I was so caught up in what I was thinking about that I lost my place. What's his name? Ichiban. Ichiban, 100%, is Jonathan Harker. Like, I can see it so easily and so clearly in my mind. Ichiban is Jonathan Harker. And he's like, oh shit, it's like I'm in a real-life dungeon! Like I'm in a real-life boss fight! And then he gets his shit sucked. The naked guy from the new game would be Renfield? No. Ichiban is the naked guy from the new game. We've already cast him. Where was I? Here we are.
Her struggle back into life was something frightful to see and hear. However, the action of both heart and lungs improved, and Van Helsing made a subcutaneous injection of morphia, as before, and with good effect. Her faint became a profound slumber. The professor watched whilst I went downstairs with Quincy Morris and set one of the maids to pay off one of the cabmen who were waiting.
Are there even women in Yakuza? Yeah, but Yakuza, given that it's very much based off of, like, Japanese crime drama, falls a lot into the tropes and failings of, like, yeah, there's women, but they're usually secondary and usually just accessory to the main characters. There's exceptions, but, you know, genre expectations, etc. I'm told the women that do feature as like major characters, in spite of some of the trappings, are very cool. So that's cool. Would love to meet them someday. I have liked the couple of characters we met so far in Zero. I can't just keep sitting here talking about fucking Yakuza. I'm trying to read a damn book. We can talk about that later. I want to read my damn book. Beast Mode Lady is cool. I do need to go back to her next time we play as Kiryu and get more Beast Mode from her. Anyways.
The professor watched whilst I went downstairs with Quincy Morris and sent one of the maids to pay off one of the cabmen who were waiting. I left Quincy lying down after having a glass of wine and told the cook to get ready a good breakfast.
I love a good breakfast.
Then a thought struck me, and I went back to the room where Lucy now was. When I came softly in, I found Van Helsing with a sheet or two of notepaper in his hand. He had evidently read it and was thinking it over as he sat with his hand to his brow. There was a look of grim satisfaction in his face, as of one who had had a doubt solved. He handed me the paper, saying only,
"It dropped from Lucy's breast when we carried her to the bath."
When I had read it, I stood looking at the professor, and after a pause asked him, "In God's name, what does it all mean? Was she, or is she, mad? Or what sort of horrible danger is it?" I was so bewildered that I did not know what to say more. Van Helsing put out his hand and took the paper, saying,
"Do not trouble with it now. Forget it for the present. You shall know and understand it all in good time, but it will be later. And now, what is it that you came to me to say?"
This brought me back to the fact, and I was all myself again. "I came to speak about the certificate of death. If we do not act properly and wisely, there may be an inquest. That paper would have to be produced. I am in hopes that we need have no inquest, for it. If we had, it would surely kill poor Lucy, if nothing else did. I know, and you know, and the other doctor who attended her knows, that Mrs. Westenra had disease of the heart, and we can certify that she died of it. Let us fill up the certificate at once, and I shall take it myself to the register, and go on to the undertaker."
Oh, good, my friend John. Well thought of. Truly, Miss Lucy, if she be sad in the foes that beset her, is at least happy in the friends that love her. 1, 2, 3, all open their veins for her, besides one old man. Yes, I know, friend John, I am not blind. I love you all the more for it. Now go.
In the hall, I met Quincy Morris, with a telegram for Arthur telling him that Mrs. Westenra was dead, that Lucy also had been ill, was now going on better, and that Van Helsing and I were with her. I told him where I was going, and he hurried me out. But, as I was going, said, "When you come back, Jack, may I have a word? May I have 2 words with you all to ourselves?" I nodded in reply and went out.
The nature of the main cast of Dracula being mostly dudes is that some homoerotic shit happens on possibly accident. I imagine some of it is a little bit accidental, but I also have to imagine some of it is, to some degree, fairly on purpose, given what little history I know about, like, the author, and specifically his, like, long-distance friendship and admiration of, like, Oscar Wilde. This is gonna be a really stupid, silly question, probably. His name is pronounced Oscar Wilde, right? I've always assumed it was, but in the back of my head there was always a wonder, like,
Is it Oscar Wilde? Is it Oscar Wilde?
it's Oscar Wilde. Okay, thank you. Now I can live confidently for the rest of my life. That the thing I assumed was right is right.
I nodded in reply and went out. I found no difficulty about the registration and arranged with the local undertaker to come up in the evening to measure for the coffin and to make arrangements.
Bram Stoker wasn't just cluelessly fumbling into homoeroticism, basically. Yeah, like, I have to imagine some of it was maybe unintentional, and I have to imagine a lot of it was on purpose for some degree or another. Given the context of who he knew and why he was writing. It's neat. It's neat. Fucking, where was I? I just finished this paragraph. Right, okay.
When I got back, Quincy was waiting for me.
Hang on. I have to allow... There we go. Bram Stoker was a gay man, and this book was written shortly after Oscar Wilde was tried for sodomy, so Bram Stoker basically went into the closet, and this book is essentially my homosexuality is evil. I don't know how comfortable I am going, yes, he was definitely, absolutely, for certain gay. And, like, I don't mean that as a, oh, you know, 2 men holding hands, they must have been very good friends type of thing, but, like, I don't know. There was certainly something going on with regards to attraction and affection for men. I guess if you mean gay in the blanket sense, then yeah, sure. I'm splitting hairs for the sake of splitting hairs, because I think splitting hairs in, like, an academic historical sense can be fun. But, like, yeah. There was absolutely some shit going on in this book with regards to, like, how sexuality in ways that society deems, like, evil or uncomfortable or the other, you know, being demonized and, like, exploring that and talking about that in some capacity. Like, yeah, for sure. Tendency for modern audiences to chuckle and go, those naive olden-time folks had no idea what they were saying. Yeah, it's something I see sometimes that frustrates the hell out of me, because, like, a lot of the times they knew exactly what they were saying for a lot of things, and it was intentional. It's just that the people nowadays saying this don't have the historical or cultural context, necessarily. You know? It's why it's interesting to, like, think about these things and explore things and learn about these things. I think it's equally valuable to try and frame something in the context of, like, when and where and how it was written, as well as in the modern context, you know? But both of those are valuable. Both of those are important. You can say Shakespeare is gay, blanket term, and that's true, but saying he was canon bisexual is... I mean, saying fucking anything about a real person is quote-unquote canonical is some, like... some hog-wild weird shit to me in general. I don't know why I chose that specific message to, like, hone in on and be like, well, actually about, because, like, I did agree with it. And also, I often use gay in, like, the blanket term, so... No hard feelings. Sorry to single you out. It just made me think, and I was like, well, I have something to say, actually. Where were we? This keeps fucking happening, and this will continue to happen every time I read a book on stream. And also, by the way, continue chiming up in chat with, you know, anecdotes and thoughts and things like this, because that's part of the whole fun of getting to read this book in front of a live audience, is getting to talk about this kind of thing, you know? People aren't action figures to slap around pretending there's a story behind them. Yeah! Man, that hits a little close to home sometimes, huh? Ooh. But yeah, this is going to continue happening, while I read books on stream, because it's fun to do this. It's fun to talk about. Where was I? Being a public figure is so much fun. It's something, alright. I'm not even terribly much of a huge face in public figure. I'm just... I'm in my little corner here, and sometimes people get a little weird about it. Not always. Doesn't happen terribly often nowadays, because I feel like I've made enough of a habit of putting my foot down that people either get the message or get scared. But, you know. It is known to happen. It happens to my compatriots. It happens to... dogs. And cats. And people. I don't know why I went to dogs. I wanted to try and say something funny, and then I said it, and I was like, that's nothing. Where was I? Dracula. That's where I was. Setting boundaries owns? It sure does. And then, whenever I do that, I get people that message me and go, man, you're being kind of a bitch, huh? You're being kind of sassy. And I get to sit back in my chair and go, I have no idea what you are fucking talking about. And that's a win.
When I got back, Quincy was waiting for me. I told him I'd see him as soon as I knew about Lucy and went up to her room. She was still sleeping, and the professor seemingly had not moved from his seat at her side. From his putting his finger to his lips, I gathered that he expected her to wake before long and was afraid of forestalling nature. So I went down to Quincy and took him into the breakfast room where the blinds were not drawn down, and which was a little more cheerful, or rather less cheerless, than the other rooms. When we were alone, he said to me, Jack Seward, I don't want to shove myself in anywhere where I've no right to be, but this is no ordinary case. You know I loved that girl and wanted to marry her, but, although that's all past and gone, I can't help feeling anxious all about her all the same. What is it that's wrong with her? The Dutchman, and a fine old fellow he is, I can see that, said the time you two came into the room, you must have another transfusion of blood, and that both you and he were exhausted. Now I know well you medical men speak in camera, and that a man must not expect to know what they consult about in private. But this is no common matter, and whatever it is, I've done my part. Is that not so? That's so, I said, and he went on. I take it that both you and Van Helsing had done already what I did today. Is that not so? That's so. And I guess Art was in it too. When I saw him 4 days ago down at his own place, he looked queer.
Listen, I know we had that entire conversation about, taking Art in the context it was made as well as the modern context, but also given that conversation a bit of a chuckle.
I have not seen anything pulled down so quick since I was on Pampas and had a mare that I was fond of go grass all in a night. One of those big bats they call vampire got at her in the night. What with his gorge and the vein left open, there wasn't enough blood in her to let her stand up.
Hey, with vampires, huh?
And so I had to put a bullet through her as she lay. Jack, if you may tell me without betraying confidence, Arthur was the first, is not that so? As he spoke, the poor fellow looked terribly anxious. He was in a torture of suspense regarding the woman he loved, and his utter ignorance of the terrible mystery which seemed to surround her intensified his pain. His very heart was bleeding, and it took all the manhood of him, and there was a royal lot of it too, to keep him from breaking down. I paused before answering, for I felt that I must not betray anything which the professor wished to keep secret. But already he knew so much, and guessed so much, that there could be no reason for not answering. So I answered in the same phrase. That's so.
Very fitting that the Texan is the one who knows about vampire bats. Yeah!
And how long has this been going on? About 10 days. 10 days?! Then I guess Jack Seward, this poor pretty creature we all love, has put into her veins within that time the blood of 4 strong men. Man alive, her whole body wouldn't hold it. Then, coming close to me, he spoke in a fierce half-whisper. What took it out? I shook my head. That, I said, is the crux. Van Helsing is simply frantic about it, and I am at my wit's end. I can't even hazard a guess. There's been a series of little circumstances to confirm all of our calculations as to Lucy being properly watched. But these shall not occur again. Here we stay until we all be well or ill. Quincy held out his hand. Count me in, he said. You and the Dutchman will tell me what to do, and I'll do it.
I fucking love Cowboy. I fucking love Quincy. I still am so fucking mad that so many adaptations of Bram Stoker's Dracula straight up do not include Cowboy time. Straight up do not include Cowboy, motherfucker. All of you writers and directors and adapters out there, I'm sorry, you're not brave. You're not brave. You're not brave. You're not brave. I'm drinking water. You're not brave.
When she woke late in the afternoon, Lucy's first movement was to feel in her breast, and to my surprise produced the paper which Van Helsing had given me to read. The careful professor replaced it where he had come from, lest on waking she should be alarmed.
Is Van Helsing a European version of a cowboy? No, he's a doctor. He's like a gruff, superstitious old doctor man. Nothing to do with ranching cattle, as far as I know. Where the fuck was I? Here. Okay.
Her eye then lit on Van Helsing and on me too, and gladdened. Then she looked around the room, and seeing where she was, shuddered. She gave a loud cry and put her poor thin hands before her pale face. We both understood what that meant. that she had realized to the full her mother's death. So we tried what we could to comfort her. Doubtless sympathy eased her somewhat, but she was very low in thought and spirit, and wept silently and weakly for a long time.
You play as the son of Quincy Morris in Castlevania Bloodlines? Fucking wild.
We told her that either or both of us would now remain with her all the time, and that seemed to comfort her. Towards dusk, she fell into a doze. Here, a very odd thing occurred. While still asleep, she took the paper from her breast and tore it in two. Van Helsing stepped over and took the pieces from her. All the same, however, she went on with the action of tearing, as though the material were still in her hands. Finally, she lifted her hands and opened them as though scattering the fragments. Van Helsing seemed surprised, and his brows gathered as if in thought. But he said nothing. 19th of September. All last night she slept fitfully, being always afraid to sleep, something weaker when she woke from it. The professor and I took in turns to watch, and we never left her for a moment unattended. Quincy Morris said nothing about his intention, but I knew that all night long he patrolled round and round the house.
Oh my god! Dude is like prowling the house ready to shoot someone! Or, I don't know, knife them or rip their throat out with his hands or something. King!
When the day came, its searching light showed the ravages in poor Lucy's strength. She was hardly able to turn her head. The little nourishment which she could take, seemed to do her no good. At times she slept, and both Van Helsing and I noticed the difference in her between sleeping and waking. Whilst asleep, she looked stronger, although more haggard, and her breathing was softer. Her open mouth showed the pale gums drawn back from the teeth, which thus looked positively longer and sharper than usual. When she woke, the softness of her eyes evidently changed the expression, for she looked her own self, although a dying one.
Some strange changes are happening to poor Lucy. I wonder what it could mean. It's a good thing she's not turning into a Dracula or anything.
In the afternoon, she asked for Arthur, and we telegraphed for him. Quincy went off to meet him at the station.
Oh, this is not time for triumphant music, dude. Playlist, come on. Well, I guess they sent off the telegraph. That's a triumph in itself.
When he arrived, it was nearly 6 o'clock, and the sun was setting full and warm, and the red light streamed in through the window and gave more color to her pale cheeks. When he saw her, Arthur was simply choking with emotion, and none of us could speak. In the hours that had passed, the fits of sleep, or the comatose condition that passed for it, had grown more frequent, so that the pauses when conversation was possible were shortened. Arthur's presence, however, seemed to act as a stimulant. She rallied a little, and spoke to him more brightly than she had done since we arrived. He, too, pulled himself together, spoke as cheerily as he could, so that the best was made of everything. It was now nearly 1 o'clock, and he and Van Helsing are sitting with her. I am to relieve them in a quarter of an hour, and I am entering this on Lucy's phonograph. Until 6 o'clock, they are to try to rest. I fear that tomorrow will end our watching. The shock has been too great. The poor child cannot rally. God help us all.
Letter. Mina Harker to Lucy Westenra. Unopened by her. 17th of September. My dearest Lucy, it seems an age since I heard from you, or indeed since I wrote. You will pardon me, for I know all my faults when you have read all my budget of news. Well, I got my husband back all right. When we arrived at Exeter, there was a carriage waiting for us, and in it, though we had an attack of gout, Mr. Hawkins. He took us to his house, where there were rooms for us all nice and comfortable, and we dined together. After dinner, Mr. Hawkins... Who's Mr. Hawkins again? Is that Jonathan's fucking boss? That's Jonathan's boss, right? I think. Believe so? Okay. I'm gonna go with that assumption. I don't think I've ever done a voice for him. I'm gonna make up a new voice for him. Sorry to Mr. Hawkins if I already had a voice for you. After dinner, Mr. Hawkins said,
My dears, I want to drink your health and prosperity, and may every blessing attend you both. I know you both from children, and have, with love and pride, seen you grow up. Now I want you to make your home here with me. I have left to me neither chick nor child. All are gone, and in my will I have left you everything.
I cried, Lucy dear, as Jonathan and the old man clasped hands. Our evening was a very, very happy one. One fucking glimmer of hope is finally occurring for someone in this book, and I can't wait for it all to be torn away from under them somehow. So here we are, installed in this beautiful old house, and from my bedroom in the drawing room I can see the great elms of the cathedral close, with their great black stems standing out against the old yellow stone of the cathedral, and I can hear the rooks overhead cawing and chattering and gossiping all day, after the manner of rooks and humans. I am busy, I need not tell you, arranging things and housekeeping. Jonathan and Mr. Hawkins are busy all day, for now that Jonathan is a partner, Mr. Hawkins wants to tell him all about the clients. How is your dear mother getting on? She doesn't know. She doesn't know. Like, I knew in my head she didn't know because she's been away, but it's really only just starting to dawn on me now. Oh, fuck, she doesn't know! Every time you hear "Here we are," you think of Kirby's game now. It probably doesn't help that a lot of the times when I say it, I read it out in that voice on purpose. And here we are! Or I guess say it out in that voice. How is your dear mother getting on? I wish I could run up to town for a day or two to see you, dear, but I dare not go yet with so much on my shoulders. And Jonathan wants looking after still. He's beginning to put some flesh on his bones again, but he was terribly weakened by the long illness. Even now, he sometimes starts out of his sleep in a sudden way, and awakes all trembling until I can coax him back to his usual placidity. However, thank God, these occasions grow less frequent as the days go on. And they will in time pass away altogether. Don't say pass away, girl! Ooh! And now I have told you my news. Let me ask yours. When are you to be married, and where? And who's to perform the ceremony, and what are you to wear, and is it to be a public or a private wedding? Oh, tell me all about it, dear. Tell me all about everything, for there is nothing which interests you which will not be dear to me. Jonathan asks me to send his respectful duty, but I do not think it is good enough for the junior partner of the important firm Hawkins and Harker. And so, as you love me, and he loves me, and I love you with all the moods and tenses of the verb, I send you simply his love instead. Goodbye, my dearest Lucy, and all blessings on you. Yours, Mina Harker. Oh. See, as someone who is reading this for the first time, I'm a little bit puzzled that there are people out here who can read this and simply not see that there's anything, like, gay going on. Like, it's a little blatant. And also, love wins, but love is pretty quickly about to lose. See, they're just very good friends. Right, yeah, you know, Jonathan and his wife, Mina Harker, and her and her side chick that she's just intimately very good friends with. Yours, Mina Harker. And Lucy's 3 weed-smoking boyfriends, and yes, they smoke weed. Like, I don't know. I feel like this speaks, maybe this is me projecting a little bit, but this speaks to some degree to, like, what I know about the author, who, like, I believe he had a wife, didn't he? And, like, they got on well enough from what bits I know. And also he very, very, very clearly was infatuated with Oscar Wilde. And, like, both of these things are true. And it feels like both of these things are true of, like, Mina. I don't know, it's cool. It's cool. You love to see bisexual icon Mina Harker continuing to win. Not for long, given the rest of what's about to happen, I imagine, but report from Patrick Hennessy, MD, MRCS, LKQ, CPI, etc., etc. Jesus Christ, dude. To John Seward, MD. 20th of September.
My dear sir, in accordance with your wishes, I enclose report of the conditions of everything left in my charge. With regards to patient Renfield, there is more to say. He has had another outbreak, which might have a dreadful ending, but which, as it fortunately happened, was unattended with any unhappy results. This afternoon, a carrier's cart with 2 men made a call at the empty house, whose grounds abut on ours. The house to which, you will remember, the patient twice ran away. The men stopped at our gate to ask the porter their way, as they were strangers. I was myself looking out of the study window, having a smoke after dinner, and saw one of them come up to the house. As he passed by the window of Renfield's room, the patient began to rate him from within, and called him all the foul names he could lay his tongue to. The man, who seemed a decent fellow enough, contented himself by telling him to shut up for a foul-mouthed beggar. Whereon our man accused him of robbing him and wanting to murder him, and said that he would hinder him if he were to swing for it. I opened the window and signed to the man not to notice, so he contented himself, after looking the place over and making up his mind as to what kind of a place he had got to, by saying, "Lord bless you, sir, I wouldn't mind what was said to me in a bloomin' madhouse. I pity you and the governor for having to live in a house with a wild beast like that." And then he asked his way civilly enough, and I told him where the gate of the empty house was. He went away, followed by threats and curses and revilings from our man. Went down to see if I could make out any cause for his anger, since he's usually a well-behaved man, and except his violent fits, nothing of the kind has ever occurred. I found him, to my astonishment, quite composed and most genial in his manner. Tried to get him to talk of the incident, but he blandly asked me questions as to what I meant, led me to believe that he was completely oblivious of the affair. It was, I'm sorry to say, however, only another instance of his cunning, for within half an hour I heard of him again. This time he had broken out through the window of his room and was running down the avenue. I called to the attendants to follow me and ran after him, for I feared he was intent on some mischief. My fear was justified when I saw the same cart which had passed before coming down the road, having on it some great wooden boxes. The men were wiping their foreheads and were flushed in the face, as if with violent exercise. Before I could get up to him, the patient rushed at them, and, pulling one of them off the cart, began to knock his head against the ground. If I had not seized him just at the moment, I believe he would have killed the man then and there. The other fellow jumped down and struck him over the head with the butt end of his heavy whip. It was a terrible blow, but he did not seem to mind it, but seized him also and struggled with the 3 of us, pulling us to and fro as if we were kittens. You know I'm no lightweight, and the others were both burly men. At first, he was silent in his fighting, but as we began to master him and the attendants were putting a straight waistcoat on him, he began to shout, "I'll frustrate them! They shan't rob me! They shan't murder me by inches! I'll fight for my lord and master!" And all sorts of similar incoherent ravings. It was very considerable difficulty that they got him back to the house and put him in the padded room. One of the attendants, Hardy, had a finger broken. However, I set it all right, and he's going on well.
Important context is that while late 1800 society was starting to get panicky about romantic friendships between men, they were just concerned about romantic friendships between unmarried women at that point, as long as there was a shared assumption they'd marry men eventually. Ah, interesting. I don't actually know terribly much about, Is 1800s considered Victorian era? Or is Victorian a different time period? I always get those mixed up. But I don't know terribly much about this time period specifically, so it's always interesting to, like, get the context of, like, hey, this is how things were. Anything between 37 and 1901. Huh, interesting. I'm not going to remember that, but thank you for telling me all the same. I appreciate it.
The two carriers were at first loud in their threats of actions for damages and promised to rain all the penalties of the law on us. Their threats were, however, mingled with some sort of indirect apology for the defeat of the two of them by a feeble madman. They said that if it had not been for their way of strength They said that if it had not been for the way of their strength had been spent in carrying and raising the heavy boxes to the cart, they would have made short work of him. They gave as another reason for their defeat the extraordinary state of drought to which they had been reduced to the dusty nature of their occupation, and the reprehensible distance from the scene of their labours to any place of public entertainment.
The fuck is drouth? Drouth? Droth? Druth? I have never seen this fucking word before. What does that mean?
I quite understood their drift, and after a stiff glass of grog, or rather more of the same, and with each a sovereign in hand, they made light of the attack, and swore they would encounter a worse madman any day for the pleasure of meeting so bloomin' good a bloke, and swore that they would encounter... as your correspondent, I mixed up the lines. So bloomin' good a bloke is your correspondent. I took their names and addresses in case they might be needed. They are as follows: Jack Smollett of Dudding's Rents, King George's Road, Great Walworth, and Thomas Snelling, Peter Farley's Row, Guide Court, Bethnal Green. They're both in the employment of Harrison Sons, Moving and Shipment Company, Orange Masters Yard, Soho. Scottish dialect for thirst/drought. Huh. Neat. I shall report to you any matter of interest occurring here, and shall wire you at once if there is anything of importance. Believe me, dear sir.
Please, you gotta believe me! Yours faithfully! Please!
Patrick Hennessy.
I beg you! You're a genuine mail reader! Oh, it is just about break time, so I am going to get up for a bit. Have a stretch. Get myself some more water after that sudden bout of yelling. Maybe do the same for yourself, get a drink or a snack. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. See you soon. We're back. Hello. Hope you all had a good break, a good stretch, a good quenching of the drought. Thinking about the Victorian era is a bit of a construct in itself. Early, mid, and late Victorian culture are all pretty distinct according to your old college lectures. Huh. Interesting. I mean, I feel like to some degree that can apply to just about any, you know, sweeping quote-unquote era of time, but also, like, interesting to know that that specifically has, like, so many sort of cultural shifts and differences and things like that. Again, it's a period of time I don't know terribly much about myself. I don't know as much history as I really would like to, or maybe ought to. But, hey, I mean the upside of being in the habit of, like, yeah, I don't know much about that, and being, like, unashamed and unabashed about it means that people who do know about it get to come up to you and be like, hey, well, you wanna learn? And I get to sit here and be like, fuck yeah, I do. So, that's always cool. Appreciate these Dracula streams? Hell yeah. I have a lot of fun doing them, both because it's fun to read in front of a crowd and talk about it, and also because, as I mentioned, people who know things about fuck relating to the book or the period get to come out and talk about that, and I get to be like, oh shit, yeah, awesome. I am glad that the folks tuning into the stream are evidently getting something out of it too. That makes me very happy to hear. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. How much is left in this chapter? Not too much, but a decent couple of paragraphs. We can wrap that up and then just hang out for the rest of the stream. History's been going on for so long in so many places it's hard to keep up. Right, yeah, like, I really think that time should just, like, pause and take a break for a while so we can all get caught up. I've been holding my breath that entire time. And in retrospect, I really don't know why I felt the need to do that, because I literally already hit the mute button on OBS. I literally hit the mute button in case, like, me holding my breath and struggling to came through. I didn't need to do that. I muted the mic. I could have just left it at that. Help! Help me! I've got the house to myself today for at least a couple more hours, so I get to be a little rowdy if I want to. How about we get back to our Dracula? I'm gonna restart this song because I really like it. No, not this one. This one. There we go. Alright. It is more Dracula time. Pardon me, but that's foul. And it tasted like my tuna sandwich. Which wasn't foul, but you know what I mean. Marge, Lisa, boy, help me, oh help me. Letter. Mina Harker to Lucy Westenra. Unopened by her. 18th of September. My dearest Lucy, help! Help me! Lucy! John! My dearest Lucy, such a sad blow has befallen us. Mr. Hawkins has died very suddenly. Some may not think it so sad for us, but we had both come to so love him that it really seems as though we had lost a father. I never knew either father or mother, so that the dear old man's death is a real blow to me. Jonathan is greatly distressed. It is not only that he feels sorrow, deep sorrow for the man, good man, who has befriended him all his life, and now at the end has treated him like his own son and left him a fortune, which to people of our modest bringing up is wealth beyond the dream of avarice. But Jonathan feels it on another account. He says the amount of responsibility which it puts upon him makes him nervous. He begins to doubt himself. I try to cheer him up, and my belief in him helps him to have a belief in himself. Believe in the me that believes in you, Jonathan! And then they climb on their giant drill mech and they use it to fight a Dracula. But it is here that the grave shock that he experienced tells upon him the most. Oh, it is too hard that a sweet, simple, noble, strong nature such as his, a nature which enabled him by our dear good friend's aid to rise from the clerk to master in a few years, should be so injured that the very essence of its strength is gone. Oh, forgive me, dear, if I worry you with my troubles in the midst of your own happiness. But, Lucy, dear, I must tell someone, for the strain of keeping up a brave and cheerful appearance to Jonathan tires me, and I have no one here that I can confide in. I dread coming up to London, as we must do the day after tomorrow, for my poor Mr. Hawkins left in his will that he was to be buried in the grave with his father. As there are no relations at all, Jonathan will have to be the chief mourner. I shall try to run over to see you, dearest, if only for a few minutes. Oh, forgive me for troubling you. With all blessings, your loving Nina Harker.
Alright, theme of Bitch Boy!
Dr. Seward's Diary!
20th of September. Only resolution and habit can let me make an entry tonight. I am too miserable, too low-spirited, too sick of the world and all in it, including life itself, that I would not care if I heard this moment the flapping of the wings of the Angel of Death. And he has been flapping those grim wings to some purpose of late. Lucy's mother and Arthur's father, and now... Let me get on with my work. I duly relieved Van Helsing in his watch over Lucy. We wanted Arthur to go to rest also, but he refused at first. It was only when I told him that we should want him to help us during the day, and that we must not all break down for want of rest, lest Lucy should suffer, that he agreed to. Van Helsing was very kind to him.
Come, my child, he said. Come with me. You are sick and weak, and have had much sorrow and much mental pain, as well as that tax on your strength that we know of. You must not be alone, for to be alone is to be full of fears and alarms. Come to the drawing room, where there is a big fire and there are 2 sofas. You shall lie on one and I on the other, and our sympathy will be comfort to each other. Even though we do not speak, and even if we sleep.
What song is this? This is, Diggle Hell is a Real Swinging Place, from the Dungeons of Dreadmore soundtrack. Specifically, this is from the Conquest of the Wizardlands EP.
Arthur went off with him, casting back a longing look on Lucy's face, which lay in her pillow, almost whiter than the lawn. She lay quite still. I looked round the room to see that all was as it should be. I could see the professor had carried out, in this room as in the other, his purpose of using the garlic. The whole of the window sashes reeked with it. Around Lucy's neck, over the silk handkerchief that Van Helsing made her keep on, was a rough chaplet of the same odorous flowers. Lucy was breathing somewhat, stertorously.
Stertorously? I don't know what that word means either. If anyone knows in chat, let me know. Love Dreadmore? Me too. Good fucking game. Good fucking soundtrack.
And her face was at its worst. The open mouth showed the pale gums. Her teeth in the dim, uncertain light seemed longer and sharper than the rest. Seemed longer and sharper than they had been in the morning. In particular, by some trick of the light, the canine teeth looked longer and sharper than the rest.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oops, uh-oh. Loud, heavy, belabored breathing. Interesting. Thank you. Uh-oh!
I sat down by her, and presently she moved uneasily. At the same moment, there came a sort of dull flapping or buffeting at the window. I went over to it softly and peeped out by the corner of the blind. There was a full moonlight. I could see the noise was made by a great bat, which wheeled round, and doubtless attracted by the light, although so dim, and every now and then struck the window with its wings. When I came back to my seat, I found that Lucy had moved slightly, and had torn away the garlic flowers from her throat. I replaced them well as I could, and sat watching her. Presently she woke, and I gave her food, as Van Helsing had prescribed. She took but a little, and that languidly. There did not seem to be with her now the unconscious struggle for life and strength that had hitherto so marked her illness. It struck me as odd, it struck me as curious that the moment she became conscious she pressed the garlic flowers close to her. It was certainly odd that whenever she got into that lethargic state, with the stertorous breathing, she put the flowers from her, but that when she waked, she clutched them close. There was no possibility of making any mistake about this, for in the long hours that followed, she had many spells of sleeping and waking, and repeated both actions many times. At 6 o'clock, Van Helsing came to relieve me. Arthur had then fallen into a doze, and he mercifully let him sleep on. When he saw Lucy's face, I could hear the sissing indraw of his breath, and said to me in a sharp whisper,
"Draw up the blind, I want light."
Then he bent down and, with his face almost touching Lucy's, examined her carefully. He removed the flowers and lifted the silk handkerchief from her throat. As he did so, he started back, and I could hear his ejaculation,
"Mein Gott!"
as it was smothered in his throat. I bent over and looked too, and as I noticed some queer chill came over me. The wounds on the throat had absolutely disappeared.
Yes, he said ejaculation. It doesn't just mean cum. It doesn't just mean semen shooting rope out of your dick hole. Come on now. Get it together. Get it all out of your system. Get your laughs out right now. Your yucks, your chuckles, your chortles. Come on, chop chop. We got a schedule to stick to. He said queer chill.
The wounds on the throat had absolutely disappeared. For fully 5 minutes, Van Helsing stood looking at her, with his face at its sternest. Then he turned to me and said calmly,
"She is dying. It will not be long now. It will be much difference, mark me, whether she dies conscious or in her sleep. Wake that poor boy, and let him come and see the last. He trusts us, and we have promised him."
I went to the dining room and waked him. He was dazed for a moment, but when he saw the sunlight streaming in through the edges of the shutters, he thought he was late and expressed his fear. I assured him that Lucy was still asleep, but told him as gently as I could that both Van Helsing and I feared that the end was near. He covered his face with his hands and slid down on his knees by the sofa, where he remained, perhaps a minute, with his head buried, praying, whilst his shoulders shook with grief. I took him by the hand and raised him up. "Come," I said, "my dear old fellow, summon all your fortitude. It will be best and easiest for her." When we came into Lucy's room, I could see that Van Helsing had, with his usual forethought, been putting matters straight and making everything look as pleasing as possible. He'd even brushed Lucy's hair so that it lay on the pillow in its usual sunny ripples. When we came into the room, she opened her eyes, and, seeing him, whispered softly,
Arthur. Oh, my love, I am so glad you have come.
He was stooping to kiss her when Van Helsing motioned him back.
No, he whispered, not yet. Hold her hand, it will comfort her more.
So Arthur took her hand and knelt beside her, and she looked her best, with all the soft lines matching the angelic beauty of her eyes. Then gradually her eyes closed, and she sank to sleep. For a little bit her breast heaved softly, and her breath came and went, like a tired child's. And then insensibly there came the strangest change which I had noticed in the night. Her breathing grew stertorous, the mouth opened, and the pale gums drawn back made the teeth look longer and sharper than ever. In sort of a sleep-waking, vague, unconscious way, she opened her eyes, which were now dull and hard at once, and she said in a soft, voluptuous voice such as I had never heard from her lips,
Arthur! Oh, my love, I am so glad you have come! Kiss me!
Arthur bent eagerly over to kiss her. But at that instant Van Helsing, who, like me, had been startled by her voice, swooped upon him, and catching him by the neck in both hands, dragged him back with a fury of strength which I never thought he could have possessed, and actually hurled him across the room.
Not for your life, he said. Not for your living soul and hers.
And he stood between them like a lion at bay. Arthur was so taken aback that he did not for a moment know what to do or say. And before any impulse of violence could seize him, he realized the place and the occasion, and stood silent, waiting. I kept my eyes fixed on Lucy, as did Van Helsing, and we saw a spasm of rage flit like a shadow over her face, the sharp teeth champed together. Then her eyes closed, and she breathed heavily. Very shortly after, she opened her eyes in all their softness, and putting on her poor, pale, thin hand, took Van Helsing's great brown one. Drawing it to her, she kissed it.
My true friend,
she said, in a faint voice, but with untellable pathos.
My true friend and his. Oh, guard him and give me peace.
I swear it,
he said solemnly, kneeling beside her and holding up his hand, as one who registers an oath. Then he turned to Arthur and said to him,
Come, my child, take her hand in yours, and kiss her on the forehead, and only once.
Their eyes met instead of their lips, and so they parted. Lucy's eyes closed, and Van Helsing, who had been watching closely, took Arthur's arm and drew him away. And then Lucy's breathing became stertorous again, and all at once it ceased.
It is all over,
said Van Helsing.
She is dead.
I took Arthur by the arm and led him away to the drawing room, where he sat down and covered his face with his hands, sobbing in a way that nearly broke me down to see. I went back to the room and found Van Helsing looking at poor Lucy, and his face was sterner than ever. Some change had come over her body. Death had given back part of her beauty, for her brow and cheeks had recovered some of their flowing lines. Even the lips had lost their deadly pallor. It was as if the blood no longer needed for the working of the heart, had gone to make the harshness of death as little rude as it might be. We thought her dying while she slept, and sleeping when she died. I stood beside Van Helsing and said, well, poor girl. There is peace for her at last. It is the end. He turned to me and said with grave solemnity,
Not so. Alas, not so. It is only the beginning.
When I asked him what he meant, he only shook his head and answered,
We can do nothing as yet. Wait
and see.
And that's chapter 12 of Dracula. God damn, huh? Juicy fucking chapter for a single read, huh? Oh man, oh man. That was fun. Let's, where's the fucking... Flip this off for now. Since we're just kind of hanging out now. Hope you liked it. I sure fucking did. Man. Oh man, shit's getting real good. Me picking the Dreadmore soundtrack and just kind of putting it on shuffle and hoping for the best, ended up working out pretty good. So, I'm pretty happy about that. Probably end up just doing that next time as well. Unless I want to get really goofy with it and just play more really unfitting music again. Like just my summertime playlist, which is what I have playing right now. I added some new tracks to it. For some reason, the only one that's actually playing that's a new track is this one, which I played on purpose at the start, and now I just pressed shuffle and it came back on. So, look forward to different tunes, I suppose, on the summer soundtrack. I don't know how much any of the new stuff is likely to play, given that the playlist is now well over 10 hours, but, you know, some fun stuff will happen eventually, I suppose, music-wise. Do I like ESA or just GDQ? Environmental Station Alpha? That's a video game. GDQ is an event. Unless there's something else, ESA? I'm talking about other things right now, though. Thanks for tuning in today, y'all. I wanted to stream last week, and then Paz ended up being a lot busier than I thought, and we both thought she was gonna end up being. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll just plan some, like, some streams on my own. And then I had a really, really bad depressive episode. And so I had, like, no fucking energy at all last week, basically. So that's why nothing happened last week, basically. You know how it is sometimes, for better or for worse. I'm feeling okay enough today. I feel like I'm on the up and up, which is nice. So we'll see what I'm able to do stream-wise this week. I mentioned on Tumblr and on the Discord and stuff, there's not really like a firm set schedule this week, just cause like there's I got a bunch of stuff going on, and a lot of it is like, oh, it could happen here or here, or oh, it might be at this point, or maybe later, or oh, it's happening this week, unspecified as of yet. So I can't rightly be like, okay, I'm gonna stream this day and this day and this day. But, I will try to do several streams this week. You keep forgetting about the bros in the background. They're like fucking vermin. They're like rats and not the good kind. I can't get them out of here. No matter what I fucking do. But yeah, hopefully some fun streams on the docket for this week. I'd like to do, I mean, the things that I posted about in the schedule. I'd like to get back to Ghost Trick, and I'd like to get back to Yakuza. Yakuza is probably happening on Tuesday, just because Puz has a lot more free time this Tuesday this week. And so we thought, hey, what if we'd like start early and either do an extra long stream or start early, end early, and then just have like an evening to ourselves kind of thing. And more Ghost Trick and more Splatoon. And I'd like to start Layton 3 have been meaning to. Let me turn this music up a little bit. This song's quiet. There we go. And then there's a couple days that are currently left open, but might be other things. Puz brought up the idea at one point, I think it was literally on the fucking Ratatouille stream, or maybe another stream, of, like, doing a stream together where we both, like, get through our commissions, what we gotta do. So that might be some afternoon this week, if we can find the time for it. There's another game that we want to play that's probably just gonna be like a one-shot stream, which we'd like to do over the weekend, if she has the time for it. She might also have, like, movie plans, so it might not be this week. In which case I'll either just do a stream by myself or, simply take a day off. We'll see. I'm probably going to cram as many streams as I can into the next month or so, just to see, like, how much we can get done stream-wise, because as I mentioned at the start of stream, I am gonna be in California for basically all of September. Not literally all of September, because I arrive on the 2nd. So, I am there for 29 days instead of 30. Fucking, God bless Kami. He is the hero of my fucking life. Last time I went over to see Puz, he was like, yeah, I've got, like, a bunch of, like, discounts and like, air miles or whatever I can use to help you with your flight, which was very generous of him, very sweet. This time didn't, just because, like, he was using them for himself and some other friends that, like, wanted dibs on it, which is fine. I didn't expect him to give me that, like, 2 flights in a row. And was just like, oh, you know, all I'm gonna do is, like, help you find a cheaper flight. You don't gotta thank me or nothing. The dude found me flights that were, like, $500 or $600 cheaper than average. So, I kind of owe him my life. Like, I don't know how he did it, but he fucking did. And so it was just like, alright, yeah, I gotta do this now. So, like, I owe him my life, and I certainly owe him, like, a fucking meal or a couple next time I get to hang out with him. So that's cool. And so, tips and stuff for the next little bit, because I had money set away specifically to pay for the possibility of another trip, this year. So tips for the next little bit are largely going towards me getting myself a laptop so that I can do streams while I'm away, because, you know, Puz has work and school, so on days like that I figure I can maybe, you know, do my own work. Maybe someday, if we're feeling it, some nights we can do streams together, something like that. But certainly not going to be every day I'm there, because I'm going to want to spend time with my partner. So I'm gonna try and squeeze in as many streams as I can in the next little bit, just to do a lot of things, because I like to do a lot of things, and I want to do a lot of things. So that'll be... I think that'll be exciting. Amazed how good my voice sounds now. That's nice of you to say. Thank you. I'm quite proud of it personally.
I worked hard on it.
Maybe I could change the tips counter to laptop fund? I mean, I would need to know a price range for what I would be buying first, and I don't know that yet, because I haven't decided what I'm getting yet. My fucking sister, bless her heart, I, like, mentioned offhand that I was thinking of doing this, and she was like, oh yeah, my fiance, like, loves helping people out with stuff like this, so you just, like, tell him what you're looking for, and he'll, like, try and find something for you. I forgot to get back to her about that, so I need to do that. So hopefully I'll be able to find something that suits my needs for a reasonable price. And then if I know an actual price tag, I can set an actual goal for it. Any recommendations for good voice training stuff? No. I never really followed anything formal. I just kind of blundered my way into sounding like this, more or less. There are certainly a lot of guides and advice out there that you can probably find and follow. I can't vouch for any of it because I used literally none of it. It's entirely possible that I've ended up training myself wrong, as a joke. It's okay, I can live with that. Want to make a video game so you can have an excuse to pay me absorbent amounts for my voice and not bankrupt yourself?
I mean, hey, if you want to pay me.
I say that like I have the fucking time and energy to apply for voice work right now. I don't, which I'm very sad about. I had to, like, turn down a couple of things that I was, like, going to be involved in or, like, was thinking of, like, applying to just because, like, I don't have the kind of time or, like, energy I would want for work like that, which makes me sad, frankly, because it's what I want to do more of, but, maybe someday. It is certainly the goal I am working towards, even if I have not so much reached the goal, at the moment. Sometimes you gotta sit yourself down and be realistic about your situation and what you got going on. But certainly someday. In the meantime, I get to sit here and continue to make a fool of myself making dumb voices on my streams, and then I get to, like, point and clap at the things that my friends are doing voice acting wise. Unrelated, fucking speaking of projects that people I know have worked on, I don't know if any of y'all have been keeping up with Welcome Home. It's What's the word I can use to describe it? Thank you for giving out that anonymous gift sub. That's very generous of you. I guess you could call it a multidisciplinary art project. I've seen a lot of people call it an ARG, which you've heard my fucking song and dance. I'm not about to pull my fucking hair out over this. It's not a game. There's no G to the ARG. It's an art project. It's a story being told through multiple disciplinary means, I suppose. It's a multimedia. That's the fucking word. Thank you. That's a neat little horror story about a children's puppet show that people, running the website have, like, discovered and are documenting. It's cool. A bunch of people I know do work on it.
If you'll forgive me for gassing up my fucking wife.
Puz has done, like, a shit ton of work behind the scenes in terms of, like, management and organization and, like, getting things sorted, and also, like, doing some writing and doing some, like, prop building and site building for, the project, which is very cool. You should go read it. You should go check it out. You've been seeing that stuff everywhere, you had no idea? Uh-huh. It's been very funny seeing people post about it in such, like, a sudden frenzy of excitement, and me just sitting back here going like,
yeah. I know people that work on that. I'm not allowed to tell you anything.
I say that like I somehow have, like, insider knowledge. I don't. But, I mean, I know who works on it, which is fun. Puz has been talking about how she wants to, like, take a day for us to just, like, hang out together and she can give me a guided tour of, like, the site and all the goodies. Which is exciting to me. Fucking, beloved friend and friend of the stream, Frankie, Friendly Frankenstein, also does, voice work for it. Does, you'll have to forgive me for maybe getting names wrong, because I don't know quite all the details about, Welcome Home as of yet. But doesn't he do, like, the voice of the main dude? The main character of the show, Wally Darling? Yeah. I always misremember his name as Wally Daring. That's not what it is. Not what it is. It's been a fun past couple of months though, trying not to accidentally blunder anything about the project that I just knew like by happenstance. Like I knew about the puppet, and I knew about like the like exhibit stuff set up, because Puz was the one that like organized and set that up. I was literally like a couple weeks too late on my trip like over to visit her when I did earlier in the month. A couple weeks too late to get to see the exhibit myself, which is very funny, but I got a ton of pictures, so that was cool. After Dracula, do you have any ideas for books to read on stream? Yeah, I had like 4 or 5 of them lined up that were like subathon goals. We have things set, don't worry. I've talked about them already, but the next one on the list is gonna be a Frankenstein. Will be fun, will be fun. I guess we can kind of just talk about whatever for a bit. I was thinking about going for a walk today, but suddenly a bunch of clouds are rolling in and it looks like it's maybe threatening to rain, so I can't really do that. Which is a shame, but hey, there's always tomorrow, I suppose. Unless the weather report for tomorrow is also bad, in which case, yeah, Frankenstein's another one I've been meaning to read for fucking years and years, and simply never got around to, so that'll be a good time, I reckon. The Coin Man Magnet, right. I mean, I figured maybe I'll just post this on Tumblr, because that's what I meant to do in the first place, and so I don't have to worry about, oh, I said it on stream, that means I've done it, and then I'll forget to do it again. But the long and short of it is I had a friend make me a custom little magnet, with like a shipment of things that he sent me. Completely a surprise, by the way. The only thing he told me about was like, he was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna send you a plush toy, because I have too many and I gotta get rid of some. And I was like, yeah, okay, I like Yeast Ken, I like Dog, sure, send me some shit. And then he sent me like a bunch of other plushes and a really, really nice little letter, and straight up made a custom magnet of, the Coin Man from Tulip. And it's you know, because his whole thing is his head flips around one way or another, and so he's like a different guy, so you can turn the magnet around. And then he looks like a different guy. And I keep it on my desk, and I think about him every day, and he's my little buddy. And so as long as I don't goddamn forget again, I'll take a picture of that later and post about it on Tumblr and stuff. I saw a very big cat the other day. Remember you joking during the Tulip streams about having a Coin Man emote at some point? Maybe. I am literally running out of emote slots. I have had to like shuffle things around and like remove a couple things just to make room for other things. I am running out of emote slots, and the only way we're getting more is literally if I get 1,000 subscribers. Like 1,000 subscriber points is, I think, around the number I need to get. Not a total of 1,000. I mean 1,000 more. And that's not happening, like, anytime soon. If ever. The exact number is, like, 1,220 that I need more. Because, how the hell do those work? There are certain thresholds of, like, subscriber points you have to hit to get emote slots unlocked. Once you hit a threshold, you have those emote slots unlocked forever. When HLVR came out, and, like, like immediately after it ended and like the credits were out and I started like doing streaming and stuff, people were like right out the gate immediately very generous, which was like, okay, this is cool, this is nice, this is going to drop off. There's no way this is going to be consistent. It's absolutely going to drop off, and it did. The plus side of that is because a ton of people subscribed. It unlocked a ton of emote slots. The downside is that I now need a ton of people to resubscribe again to get even more. So it's a matter of, like, figuring out what do I want to retire, what do I want to shuffle in and out, what new ones do I want, things like that. It's a whole thing. So it goes. Howdy, Gur. Hope you're having yourself a good day today. Yeah, yick, huh? We're gonna play fucking Y2K. I'm gonna be doing that later tonight around 6 Eastern with Socks and Tyler, and that's gonna be, I'm thinking about the way Socks put it, which I think probably also explains why the other night we ended up playing so much of fucking, Chungus Adventure or whatever the hell in Tabletop Simulator, where there's something fascinating and interesting and enthralling about, like, a piece of media, a work of art that you think is, like, bad or messy or, like, not executed properly. There's something enthralling and engrossing about trying to look at a thing and trying to understand, like, what is it doing? Why is it doing that? How could things have been different? Could things have been different? What would I do? What would other people do? And trying to see just how, like, things, you know, stumble on their face and how they somehow, like, get things right, or how they get close to being, quote-unquote, you know, something that you think is good or whatever. You're late, but you're here? Hi, welcome. I am done reading the chapter, so we're just hanging out for now. Yo, thank you, Adrian, for the 38-month resub. Yo, post your fucking rats in chat if you got them.
Polytone's rat.
Oh, right, it's a follower emote, so you've all got them. Post your damn rats. I had to make one of the bros emotes into a subscriber emote, just so I could make room for the monolith. And I ended up making the green one a subscriber emote, because I thought it would be funny to put one of the bros past a paywall. Just like bros, you have to beat the game to rescue your bro. you gotta pay up if you want it. It's DLC, exactly. Yo, thank you, Balmer, for the resub. Much appreciated. 2 of them.
Hollytone's rat, 2 of them.
2 of them.
Thank you, I appreciate that. So I think Y2K or Yick or whatever you want to call it will be interesting. I don't know. There's always something compelling about something that you see as bad or that other people say is bad. And, like, looking at it for yourself and coming to your own judgments about it.
More like yuck.
Yeah. I mean, I almost certainly know how I'm going to feel about it to some degree. But, like, I don't know. I think it's still compelling to talk about it. I think there's still value in that. Never heard of Yick in your life? You are lucky, I think. I would say keep it that way, but also I think Socks' stream tonight's gonna be fun, so... Hey, your call. Fun to watch folks form their own opinions as they experience. Right, yeah, and, like, I have regularly done streams of Peppa Pig video games. I did an entire 9-hour stream of Ratatouille recently. Like, there's something compelling about that. There's something compelling about doing that, about seeking out stuff that makes you think, like, this is fucking weird. Why? And how? Is there anything... Good is a useless word. Is there anything interesting to take away from this in one way or another?
There is much to study.
Exactly. Howdy, Medibot. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. So I'm so goddamn curious. I have to know. I have to know. I don't know terribly much about the game, just on its own merits, sitting on its own. I know some stuff. What is Sox's Twitch? I mean, I'm gonna be posting the announcement when the stream happens in the Discord, so you're gonna see it there. But I mean, also, you can go follow them now. I can do a shout out. Go check them out. They're real cool. I was streaming with them the other night, and it was fun. And now we have a big bag full of weird shit that I found on the Steam Workshop for Tabletop Sim to explore someday. The couple of things that I know about Yick, are like... To some degree, there's a plot point that is pretty goddamn insensitive about, like, a real-ass person who died in, like, a noteworthy, missing person investigation case that happened in, like, what, the 90s or something? The 90s or the early 2000s, something like that. And also that the author, in a lot of ways, is apparently, like, very much up his own ass, just like, hey, you guys didn't like it because you're simply not smart enough, or whatever. Which is, its own whole different thing that I'm not going to get into. But, it's what I know about it. You can look into that on your own, if you want to. This is worrying music, given what we're talking about. Remember being interested in it many years before it released, so it being what it is a shame? I mean, yeah, I reckon there was a lot of people who were interested in it. Like, yeah, this has, like, an interesting premise, an interesting aesthetic. Says it's based off of things that other people, you know, hold dear for one reason or another. So yeah, I can understand people being, like, excited for it, and then it comes out and it's like, oh man, damn, it's like that, huh? That's not uncommon, that's not unexpected. Something Shrek for the Xbox will have so many levels and hundreds of missions, 20-30 hours of gameplay. Do I plan on playing any more reading games like Citizen Sleeper on stream? I don't really know what a reading game entails, and also, most of the games I play, I sit down and read things in it, so... I guess my answer is I don't know, but also almost certainly. I have so much shit I want to get to. Please look forward to any of it. Eventually. It's actually just pronounced Y2K? I don't care, though. Like, I know. I get that it's supposed to be Y Roman numeral 2K. But also I don't care. It's Yick. Because that's the sound I make when I think about it. Yick! Games with a lot of text? That's a significant portion of what I play. Like, we're literally hopefully playing Yakuza tomorrow. I mean, sometimes those got cutscenes, I guess.
Yick.
It's a fitting noise of disgruntlement and disgust. Maybe it won't be that bad. I'm almost certainly setting myself up for disappointment. But I guess we'll have to see. At the very least, it'll be a fun thing to do with friends. Then I'll eventually, you know, play other good games. It's probably not happening anytime soon, but it will be funny eventually, going from fucking Y2K to eventually playing like Earthbound and stuff. Trying to dance around recommending a specific game. There's literally a recommendations channel in the Discord. Why would you need to dance around that? If you're asking, can I bring up a specific game on stream here? My answer is, put it in the Discord so I remember. It's not that, no, it's against the rules to do it. It's, no, my brain doesn't work. Put it there so I can read it later. Thank you, Shanghai Oh My, for the 37 months. Much appreciated. Hearing about Citizen Sleeper reminded you a sequel got announced. I am so fucking excited for Citizen Sleeper 2. I am so fucking pumped. I'm ready. I'm ready. Any fucking day now. I'm so ready. I still need to play and stream the, like, I don't know if DLC is the right word, but the update content that came out a while ago and was like, hey, here's extra chapters and like things you can do and stuff. I still haven't done those. I wanted to wait until all of those were all out so that I could do them all like all together on stream. And they're all out now, so I can do that. I just haven't done it yet. I'll get back to it some of these days. Some of these days? One of these days. Weird how the PC Gamer Show spoiled Citizen Sleeper 2 before its own reveal. Is that really a spoiler if that's the show dedicated to reveals? Like, I don't think that's really quite a spoiler then if it's going, hey, these multiple shows are doing reveals of games, and sometimes there's like the same game announced on multiple shows. I don't know. I always get a little bit, like, confused dog tilting my head, when people talk about spoilers in the context of, like, trailers, I guess. It's a trailer. It's a commercial. It's fine. It's fine. It's all marketing anyways. In this case, marketing for a thing that I think is really cool and that I care about? Yeah, sure. But also just marketing, you know? It's fine. Warrior of Light head tilt. I literally forgot. That's like one of the main inflections that your player character has in that damn video game, isn't it? Hey, I still want to hang out and chat for a little bit more, but Twitch is threatening to make me play an ad break. So I'm gonna do that. Probably just like stand up and stretch while that happens, but I'll keep the mic open. So 3 minutes of talking that you'll either hopefully still be able to hear or that you can read the subtitles for. I'm doing that now. Just so that doesn't happen in the middle of something else, I suppose. And I'll do the command so that people know what's happening. This is, You're not gonna be missing terribly much, so don't fuss about it too much, I suppose. I should maybe update the ads command, because they're paying me less for ads now. I reckon they're paying everyone less for ads now, but mostly I do it just so I don't get, like, an unscheduled block of ads and, like, pre-roll ads, mid-roll ads, which I have no control over. Which is, bad. But that's the state of the internet nowadays, huh? Advertisements, etc. the BB has a little scarf, on this talk sprite. It's such a cute little detail, isn't it? I think about it and I smile. The lesser evil, unfortunately. Yup. Something, find yourself an ad blocker that works. It's no skin off my back, it's no skin off my teeth. You do what you gotta to make the internet palatable. Straight up, if you're worried about it, like, cutting into my income or whatever, just fucking send me $5 someday. That's probably more than I would get from your ad views. It's no silk purse off my pig. It's no pearls off my swine. Yeah, there's a number of, like, ad blockers that specifically work on Twitch to varying degrees, so just, you know, seek a dose out. It's no pig off my pen. It's no chip off my Womps block. Oh, no, you can't be mentioning fresh croissants. There's literally, one of my favorite bakeries ever, and it's like a very short drive, a 10 to 15 minute walk away from where I live. I could literally just go there and buy croissants. I won't. But I could. And now I'm thinking of quitting it. It's no sleep off my citizen. Man, I haven't fucking thought about push button receive bacon in, like, what? A decade or two? My god. Blast from the past. It's no butter off my biscuit. Yeah. Okay, it looks like the advertisements are officially over. I'm just gonna stretch a bit more and then sit back down and we can hang out for a bit more and then I'll wrap up for the day. On my own stream, at least. It's no jump without my buttons. Me jump with a button. Think about it. I'm just double checking to make sure the stream is still on for tonight. Looks like it is. Okay. Thanks for the read of Dracula. Hey, hell yeah. I'm glad folks are enjoying it. I certainly get a kick out of it. It's no Bram off my Stoker. They're not stroking off my Bam or anything. Etc., etc. Sit comfy in my damn chair. No captain off your Olimar. Is that anything? Our top scientists are looking into it. I'm glad folks enjoy the Van Helsing voice I have decided upon. It's a fun voice to do. And it feels correct given what bits I know about the character as, like, gruff old weird guy. Well, some degree of rough. You know what I mean.
Nice dollars and nice cents. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for the tip. We have reached $69.69. Man, speaking of Pikmin. Oh shit, thank you Bundle in for the raid. Hope you had a wonderful stream today. We are fully just hanging out. I've read the chapter I wanted to read today. I'm just chilling. We're just cooling. Thanks for stopping on by. Hope you had a good stream today. What was I talking about? Literally, what was I talking about? Pikmin. Pikmin 4 looks real cute from what I've seen. I still want to play the others, because, like, I played a bit of Pikmin 1 as a kid. Or maybe not as a kid, but when I was younger, certainly, and the time limits stressed me out. Now I'm older, and time limits in games are fun to me instead of just stressful, on principle. Pikmin 2, I played a bunch of, like, co-op at a friend's house. And so I liked that one quite a bit. Pikmin 3 I never played, and Pikmin 4 just came out. You played Pikmin 1 and didn't know it had a time limit? Olimar straight up died. Oh no, Socks, my friend. Also, howdy, Socks. Are you excited for tonight? Smiling weakly? Sweating? Pikmin 2, from what you've heard and seen, seems cruel. I've seen a lot of people say that. I haven't played enough of 1 to compare it to 2, really. So that's kind of why I want to check it out for myself. And also, Puzz has never played any of them. And so I think it would be fun to do those together. But again, we have so many things we want to stream. We have so many things we want to do. We have so much stuff we want to play and stream and do together. So, hopefully in the coming month and a bit, we'll be able to squeeze more things in before, work and project stuff piles up too much for Puzz. We'll see. We'll see. How many of the subathon incentives are left? Quite a lot of them. Quite a lot of them. Many of them are open-ended and not just like, hey, here's one thing I'll do, but like, hey, here's like several things that we will get to. Like, you know, there's stuff that's like, yeah, this is, one game I will play. And then there's stuff that's like, hey, what if we do things that fit this theme? Or like, what if I play through an entire series? You want to run through the list as a reminder? Let's go through. Hi-Fi Rush. I have that now. I can play that now. I'm probably gonna try and squeeze that in soon. Now that I own it. The Bouncer. That's a special thing I'm doing that I gotta find time for. Smile. Exclusive recipe reveal. Done. That was the pasta stream. Dracula. We're reading it. People voting on a list of things that I provide for a stream. Not yet. Games as art. An insightful roundtable discussion. I have to schedule that soon. Playing a Hat in Time with Puzz. Eventually. Soon. Galador Stream 2. Smiling at the camera sweetly. The next book, which is Frankenstein. Whenever Dracula's done. The Madanui online game. I should get around to doing that soon, actually. I don't know how long that would take, and it would be a fun sort of chill thing to do. Developer commentary streams. That's an open one, and largely depends entirely on when my friends that have made video games are available to talk about the things they have made. All Kirby's. Eventually, but that's easy to start, since a lot of them just emulate real easy. Lego browser games. That's another open-ended one. That'll be, let's pick through those every now and then, or do like a big marathon of a bunch of things like that. All the Half-Life games. I should do that soon, actually. Weird licensed games. That has begun. You have seen Ratatouille. I literally already have another one lined up with, like, multiple friends that are like, yeah, I'll come around for that. I just need to figure out when works for people. The next goal was literally just, I buy Balan Wonderworld. So I own Balan Wonderworld now, which means I do have to play that. Star Wars Dark Forces. That'll be easy to set up, I just gotta get around to it. See, it's a bunch of these are like, yeah, this is easy. It's just, I have to figure out when. And the when is hard when I've already got things ongoing that I'm currently doing. You know? We will get around to them eventually, though. Other Kirby games. As in, not the mainline Kirby games. Again, also. Yeah, that's not too hard to get to. An exclusive new deck for God game. Sox is still working on that, I believe. There's been some back and forth about, what specifically I am, like, commissioning them for, as it were. We gotta plan a day to do God Game again together. Donkey Kong 64, which also got upgraded to a 100% run of DK64. That's, tugging my collar. We'll get to that eventually. Putting it off. The third book that I'll read on stream, which is just straight up Les Mis. We'll do Les Mis. That'll be a long one, but we'll be at it for a while. I'll play a horror game. I'll do that in October. Is that the one you're scared of? Yes, that's the one with the horrible wasps in it. A stream where you all vote on a thing for me to read. Again, I just gotta set up a poll for that eventually. Marriage stream. We'll get around to eventually. Didn't I say I would play Soma for the horror game? Yes. Yes, I did. I couldn't remember if I said that publicly or not, but yeah, that's what that's gonna be. Divorce stream. Divorce stream is on hold for a really fucking funny reason that I can't elaborate on without entirely giving away the goat of what Divorce stream is going to be. But it will still happen eventually. Bros, again, I just gotta pick a day for that. A little Gary's Mod project I wanted to do. I need to hit up Twilight about that to help design that. I fucking forgot about this one. I have to speedrun Claymates. Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. My capture card is fighting back. My capture card actively doesn't want to do this. Too bad. Is the divorce stream anything like the Germa baseball fiasco? I don't watch Germa, so I don't know how to answer that. I'm gonna say no. We did it!
This doesn't actually count for the speedrun, by the way. This is just a joke. I do actually have to speedrun Claymates. I do actually have to speedrun Claymates someday.
Excuse me. What else? I got it set up to do Smash Bros. Break the Targets, all games, all characters. Looking at Roblox stuff. I need to figure out how to make a Roblox account and also ask friends for more weird and cool and interesting things to look at in that video game, because I know not a goddamn thing about it. And Find Everything doesn't count, because I already plan on playing Find Everything separate to that. Thank you, Jacob's Lock, for the 10-month resub. Thank you, Missing Texture, for the 28 months. We'll play Find the Worms. I don't fucking know what that is, but hell yeah! I said I would play a second horror game. Other salty-based stuff. Specifically, my 2 ideas for other salty-based stuff are... I want to try and get Gecko codes working for the GameCube Mario Baseball game so that I can make it CPU versus CPU. And it's not quite baseball, but also I like the idea of fucking around with, like some of the Mario Party, setting it to all CPUs and betting on that. Pig, we did. That's done. Fishing stream, that's gonna be a whole thing to plan, so that might be a while. Going through Sonic games, I have bought more Sonic games. So I have more Sonic games accessible, so I can do that at some point. I need to decide, because they put out, what is it, Sonic Origins or something like that? And I'm interested in checking that out and, like, maybe, like, comparing and contrasting with, like, other, like, the original Genesis versions or, like, other ports of the Genesis version or something like that. It's very expensive. Like, I know a lot of work has been done to, like, rebuild these, like, ports of Sonic from the ground up. But it's very expensive. It's like 60 or 70 bucks, if I remember right. So I'm still trying to figure out, like, if and when I want to try out that one specifically. They put fucking Amy in it. And I'm mad that they put fucking Amy in it. Because I want to play with Amy, but they made her so expensive. Can you bug me later? Yeah, sure. Then I had, what? Another people can vote on what I do, but this time instead of me providing a list, it'd be everyone voting themselves and seeing what comes up on top. Another book club thing, where Brady and I will get together and read a cool visual novel. Series of visual novels, I think. Oh, right. I get to just take a deck of From God Game and decide that it's never allowed to be used ever again. I forgot I could do that. I can't fucking believe Socks let me do that. I haven't yet? No, because I haven't done a God Game stream recently. Saving that for that. Oh yeah, I'll beat off on stream. I'll play with my balls. That's 2 separate ones. DK64, 100%. That's... we talked about DK already. What were the stretch goals that we met? Mario World ROM hacks. I got friends what know stuff about cool Mario World ROM hacks, so I'll have them give me a list of the good stuff, and also the good stuff. Games about dogs. Games about dogs is going to be at least a week-long event, whenever I decide to do it. Because I have, like, 5 games about dogs, at least 5 games about dogs, that I want to stream all in a row, and I think that'll be fun. Mario Party 5 Nightmare Scary Mode Edition, that'll be fun. I still gotta figure out a time for that. I've got people that want to do that, it's just a matter of figuring out, like, what works for all of our schedules. Games about rats? You joke! You joke? I already have a second Ratatouille stream planned. Mike hooked me up with, like, fucking free cam codes for Dolphin. And also, there's the 2 prototypes of Ratatouille. And also, there's another game. Mario Sunshine 100% playthrough. That's one Puz and I are gonna try and start soon. Fingers crossed. We were thinking of doing it like a week or 2 ago, and then it didn't end up working out schedule-wise. But, that'll probably be soonish. Time permitting. What is this? It's the monolith. The monolith is not always successful. your sincere reaction to this information. I am so glad I chose this picture from Ratatouille specifically as an emote. And you're all gonna understand what the fuck I mean by that when we do Ratatouille stream number 2. Yit question, are you playing current? Don't fucking ask me, I'm not the one playing it. Go ask Socks. go fucking bug her about it. I'm not playing shit, I'm along for the ride. The next one was chat has to choose a game for me to speedrun, which I reckon I'll do after all the other vote stuff and after I speedrun Claymates. You're not allowed to pick Balan Wonderworld because I'm already going to be doing that as a speedrun. You're not allowed to pick Claymates because I'm also already going to be doing that as a speedrun. Next is Danganronpa. I'm going to be doing that with Puzz and also probably Ryan, because I know Ryan's a pervert for these games, so that'll be fun. Then the last one was Kingdom Hearts, the first one. Which I've never played before. And I basically consigned myself to never playing. But I figured, hey, if people want to pay me money to do it, I won't say no. And people did. So... that was all the subathon things. Which Ryan? I don't think I know many Ryans. Ryan Chongo Show. And then, you know, on top of all these like subathon things, there's like other things that I'm in the middle of doing, other one-off stuffs that I want to do. There are things that I want to do with Puzz that we're in the middle of doing or want to do soon. So, you know, it's a matter of shuffling things around, figuring out when things will happen. I made no promises of when we would do things, because let's be real, I know myself. I play shit slowly. And sometimes inconsistently. They will happen eventually. They will happen. They have to happen, because you gave me money for them. When? You'll see. You'll see. There was a separate donation for Zapper 1 Wicked Cricket. Yeah, that was unrelated to the subathon. That was... People kept fucking talking to me about this video game that I hated as a kid. And I said, fuck it. You all care so much about this damn video game. Pay me hundreds of dollars and I'll play it. And someone did. And full disclosure, I've been meaning to get around to it for the past several weeks, but also I've been trying to get friends to do it with me, because going through it alone sounds miserable. But every time I'm like, oh, can we try this day? People end up being busy. Or I end up not being able to do it. For one reason or another. Which game? Zapper 1 Wicked Cricket. I don't know if you remember it. We rented it like once. And I hated it so much that I like cried. Wanted to throw up. It is like one of the only games that made me cry as a kid, and it was maybe the only game that made me cry out of like rage, because I hated it. I didn't like it. The indignity of a game being that bad made me furious as a kid. Not that game, no?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It'll be interesting to revisit it, you know, with new eyes, as an adult. See what's up. See if it's any good. It's probably not, but... Hey, again, maybe it'll be interesting. And if not, well... At least I got paid for it. Well, I say I got paid for it. Immediately the fucking bounty was sent to me, and I like divvied up the money to Puzz and Frankie and Bugs, because that was like right after we did the stream of like looking through Summer Games Fest stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'll split tips with you. And then I was like, but what if I gave them more money? So I did. So that's largely what that went to. Like I kept like a quarter of that money. The bug on the cover makes you so uncomfortable. Why, what's wrong? Isn't he so cool and edgy? Doesn't he have so much attitude? Isn't he so awesome? He's actually awesome? He's like a character. Oh my god. I should probably get going soon, just to let my voice rest a little bit before yick. And also because I want to make myself like pasta or something for dinner, which, you know, requires cooking time. We'll never game for corporate attitude? Right. Not for corporate. Not for stoner. Not for trend. Only true Doom murder heads. I don't remember that entire bit by heart, unfortunately, which always makes me sad, because it's one of the funniest fucking things in the entirety of Barkley Gaiden. What's for dinner? Any fun plans? No. Something. My dad made ribs last night, and they were really fucking good ribs. I'm not feeling ribs right now tonight, though. I'll have more tomorrow. But tonight I want something else. I got broccoli. I'll do something with broccoli. Maybe make a broccoli pasta or something. And then tomorrow I will eat a lot of ribs alert.
Feeling very broccoli-esque. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I suppose that's about it for the stream then. This was fun. It was a fun chapter of Dracula. It was a fun reading. Good to get back into the swing of things. Hopefully next week I'll have the time to read more chapters. We'll see. And hopefully this week I'll have the time for more streams. Fingers crossed. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for all the subs and the tips and the bits and stuff. Thank you for the raids we had today, and hey, thanks for sticking around. No matter when, where, or how you catch these streams, it's always wonderful to have you here, so thanks for taking time out of your busy day to spend it here with us. I'll be on Sox' stream in about 2 hours. Once again, I will shout out Sox. We're gonna be playing fucking Y2K. We're playing fucking Yick, baby. Be there. Okay? Maybe I'll see you then, or maybe I'll see you around some other time, but no matter what happens, before we head off, I'd just like to say have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves, taking care of the folks around you, and I hope we see you again soon. Bye!
One, two. A hotmail, Kirby is a pink guy. 1, 2, a hotmail, because Kirby is very cute. 1, 2, a hotmail, Kirby is a pink guy. 1, 2, a hotmail, because Kirby is very cute. Kirby inherits his enemies and make it later. Kirby is so happy this is something he can because he's such a big guy. Kirby inherits his enemies and make it later. Kirby is so happy this is something he can because he's such a big guy. Here comes Kirby to meet and to project because he's attacked by King Dedede. We just this one of defeat when the triumph is that. Here comes Kirby to meet and to project because he's attacked by King Dedede. We just this one of defeat.